All right, well, we're back for another live demo. This week, we've got Spenzo with us, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but Denise was my guest on my podcast a few weeks ago, or maybe a month.
Yes.
Time's flying, but welcome, Denise. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Andrew, for having us. My name is Denise Sicheneder. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Service with Spenzo. I've been with Spenzo for over 4.5 years and love it, and super excited to showcase what our platform can do today to everyone out there. I have brought two friends with me. First is our CEO, Emmanuel Imagine.
Hey guys, I'm CEO of Spenzo. I come at this more from the tech side of things, so if anything is broken, you come to me.
Exactly. I pass those questions. Those go over my head, right? And then one of our, I would say probably best and favorite clients, the Carolina Hurricanes. This is Ryan Erdmann. He is the Senior Director of Client Retention and Group Sales. So thank you, Ryan, for joining.
No problem.
Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in and share a screen and give you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes of what Spenzo is all about. So before we jump completely into the screen share, I think there's a couple of things that separate Spenzo from other players in this space. And I wanted to walk through a few of those things. Number one is our focus. We are solely focused on the sports industry and live events and helping our teams and venues do what they can to sell more tickets. We've also taken a pretty strategic approach, and we are solely right now integrated with Ticketmaster Arctics, and that's by design. That allows us to go very, very into the Arctics integration and provide for those clients something that's there's second to none with the way that we go so deep into Arctics and make things so smooth, not only for people like Ryan on the sales side, but also for operations, finance, and marketing all the way across the board. Our platform is extremely flexible. It allows for you to update and change things in an instant and for it to be live. Our platform is completely white labeled. So it's not about us. It's not about Spenzo. It's about you, your brand. And that white labeling, as we will walk through, goes very, very deep in our platform. I think our reporting, you'll find too, we'll walk through some of our reporting. Some of it we obviously can't go too far into because it is proprietary data for our clients. But we can walk through some of our reporting and showcase what types of reporting we provide to our clients, because I think in today's day and age, reporting is so important, and being able to have that data and act on it as fast as possible is critical. And then last, and I think Ryan can probably speak to this too, and I'm sure he will allude to this, is that our customer service, again, that's an area where we go above and beyond. We care very deeply about our clients, about their business, and about making sure that each one of their fans and each one of their sales reps and everyone in-house is taken care of, and they feel like they have what they need from our platform. Those are just a couple of the key things that I think differentiate us before we dive into the screen share.
No, that's great. Can I just jump in there? If anyone has any questions, please, comment on the LinkedIn or YouTube if you're on it. We'll try to get the questions when we can, but also just, post that you're there so we know who's checking this out, and Denise or Emmanuel can follow up with if any other questions.
Absolutely. We don't shy away from the questions. Perfect. It looks like his screen is freezing. Okay. Are you able to get in? Okay. So as Emmanuel gets ready to share his screen, we can start talking just a little bit about some of the clients that we work with. So we, as Spenzo, work across 3 countries. We work across the US, Canada, and Australia. We have plenty of teams in the NHL, NBA, NFL, some of the smaller leagues. We also work in Canada with the Canadian Elite Basketball League. We also work with the Australian Football League, and we've actually been helping them get back on board this fall as they were rolling into some of their championship games. So we've been working with them. We have been innovating constantly to try to update our platform to make sure that it provides everything that our clients need. And in this day and age right now, that goes directly to social distancing and all of the different things that you can do to be able to make sure that your prospects and your clients and your fans can go ahead and get to your games and get your games in a safe manner. It looks like we lost Emmanuel, so I'm going to go ahead and try to share my screen and see if I can do this. Apologies.
Tech.
It's tech.
It works. And
It's always something, right? Okay, let me see if I can go ahead and share my screen. So I likely will lose you guys while I share. All right, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep.
Okay, you guys are good? You can see my screen and the girls get it? Perfect.
Yep.
All right, so this is what a promotion can look like on the Spenzo platform. And I say can look like because, as I mentioned, with our flexibility and white labeling, our platform allows you to truly customize the promotion for the look and feel that you want based on what you're doing and what's most important to your client and your customers. So in this example, you'll see a couple different things from the white labeling. You'll see here, we've actually customized the header space up here in the group logo to speak directly to the group. Typically, our clients will have like a standard, and Ryan has one of these Carolina Hurricanes look and feel, but they can override it on a event by event basis. We purchase and manage URLs, vanity URLs for all of our customers. And so, for example, with Ryan and his team, they send all of their buyers to canesgroups.com / whatever that promotion is specifically tied to. So in this case, it may be canesgroups.com / Girl Scouts. This allows for very simple sharing of those promotions. Our white labeling will also continue all the way down to the email that comes into the inbox of the buyer. It will reflect the team, not Spenzo, which is really important. It also goes all the way down to the credit card statement. And this is a really important differentiation because if it was to say Spenzo, who's technically based out of Canada, that would be very confusing for your buyers. But our credit card statement will say Carolina Hurricanes, Raleigh, North Carolina. This leads for us to have a very low chargeback rate, which is kind of unheard of a little bit in our industry, but allows for us to be able to, white label that process completely to the team, and that's really important. That also goes through to the financial part of the sale because the transaction actually says the team's name on it. That means that those ticket monies actually belong to the team legally in the process and never hit our bank account. So again, completely secure. Your ticket revenue stays with you. Our revenues go to us. So it's a very, very, very important part of the process. As you can see in the green bar, this is where you're going to see the game date and information. And as I mentioned, if you're pulling from Ticketmaster Artix, it quickly populates. If not, and we do have clients that are on other platforms, they'll enter this information in there. Our platform allows for lots of customization with video and images. So you can have one YouTube video per promotion and then as many images as you want. One of the other big differentiators of our platform to others is the way that our platform is built. It's built on a hierarchy, and so it allows you to have standard images, for example, standard headers, all sorts of different standards that will automatically populate in the build process, which makes it very, very simple. But then we give you the option to override or intermix or customize as you go through a promotion. So again, just little things like that that make a big difference. You'll see right here, this is where our headline information is. So this is where we're going to be able to share quick bits of information with your buyers. We always recommend this to be a little bit shorter than, say, some more information that we have here. The reason we recommend that is that we don't want you to push the buy flow down. It's really important that your buy process stay up top of mind for all of your buyers. Both of these sections are completely customizable. You can see here, you can change colors, you can bold, you can add images, you can add links. It's totally up to you how you customize these. And then each one of these areas right here actually can be turned forward facing to the buyer as they come to the page. We truly believe at Spenzo that you should be able to customize this page to be able to allow your buyers to see what they need to see when they come to the page. So whatever's the most important for them to see will be forward facing, and you're going to be able to choose that specifically for them. We have what's called our fundraising status. So we help our teams with fundraisers, and I would say this is a big area of what we focus on with our teams. So we provide them the ability to have a fundraising status. We provide them the ability to add additional custom donations to their process. So if a group, say the Girl Scouts in this example, are trying to raise additional money, we allow for them to be able to add 10, 15, 25, however much money they want to in that process and check out with that. The last thing that we do, and this is a big pain point, and I remember this back in my time working for teams, was we actually process the fundraiser for you. So that means that we will withhold the money that belongs to your group, and then you tell us at the end of the promotion where that money goes to, and we can either ACH transfer it or send it by a paper check. We also send a PDF directly to the group sales manager, the group rep, letting them know what the fundraiser total was and being able to allow them the ability to share that with the group leader so that they know that that fundraising money is coming. So this can be super impactful, and we've done a number of smaller fundraisers where we've gone ahead and been able to raise additional funds, say for children that have a rare disease and their family has growing medical costs. It's really been a key driver for us. This fan experience tracker, again, this was a pain point I remember back from my time leading group sales, was not being able to understand exactly what the experience was, how many tickets were required to get there, and what it was going to be like. So our fan experience tracker allows you to put in the name, a photo, and a description for all of your experiences. And then we help our teams track to those in 3 different ways. First being the minimum ticket requirement. So, hey, there's X number of tickets required to be a part of this experience. You need 49 more to get there. We can also flip this to be a revenue minimum. So if there is a need for there to be a specific number of dollars sold before you get to that experience, we can do that as well. And then the last we can do is we can do what's called an early bird feature. So we could actually flip this to say, hey, there are only a certain number of these experiences available, and so you better buy soon to be able to get access to that experience. So this actually, many of our teams will flip this, and if they have, say, like a hat that's exclusive for a group offer and they only have a certain number of hats, they'll go ahead and say, hey, you better buy early now because we only have a certain number of hats, and they'll count down and help drive early bird purchases. The last feature here, before we talk about the buy process, is troops. This one is troops, called Troops in the Lead. It's our live leaderboard. So this allows you to kind of gamify the experience with your group. So if you think of groups within the group, and especially, Scouts is one of those that's a very key opportunity here. I think colleges and universities with sororities and fraternities, youth sports is a huge driver here. It allows your buyers to answer a question in the checkout process that will allow them to go ahead and identify into these groups that we've already pre-selected for them. Once they identify into these groups, then we will go ahead and update this live. So the key with this leaderboard is it's a very, very much more structured than you'll see other leaderboards in our space, and that's by design, because everyone can type something differently. So I could type TRP Durham, or I could type fully Troop Durham, I could misspell it, and then you've got mismatched groups all over the place. So this is pre-populated groups, and it really does help drive some excitement for your promotion. So you can also flip this leaderboard if you're doing a fundraiser to dollars raised. So there's lots of opportunity to go ahead and make this pretty exciting. So before I go any further, I'm going to have Ryan jump in, because I know Ryan's team, while this is a demo example, Ryan's team does a lot of creative promotions, and I know he has some that he can speak to, some of these different features and how they worked for him.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Denise. Yeah, I can definitely speak to this, and you hit on all the major things that I was going to hit on, because I'm sure, they say that we're one of their favorite customers, but I'm sure we annoy them more than any other customer, because speaking to Spenzo's customer service, we've contacted them at all hours on game nights with questions, or can we do this? Can we do that? And they're always super responsive. So yeah, I can definitely speak to a lot of these different programs. The one that actually I just saw up there was our offer for, I believe it was Officer Ainsworth that you had there. So this is a good example of a fundraising opportunity that we did through Spenzo. And there's a few things I think that are worth mentioning on this one. So in short, unfortunately, we had an officer here in Raleigh that was shot in the line of duty, pretty severely injured. And, our entire city was, aware of it and wanted to rally behind him. And it just so happened that, we had an upcoming homestand where we had a few games coming up, and we were going to recognize Officer Ainsworth. So what we wanted to do to help his family out is do some sort of donation where we're going to recognize his family at the game, recognize the police force in general, and we thought this would be a good opportunity. But the thing was, we needed it really, really quickly. It was a quick turnaround time. So we ended up being able to put something together super quick for Officer Ainsworth and his family, with funds from the tickets going directly to his family. So as you can see, in this example from Spenzo, the cool thing was every single person that was going in and purchasing a ticket through this event that our marketing team was pushing can see how much money is going to go directly to his family. As you can see, it ended up a little over $6,000 went directly to his family. So that was one that I think the community got behind, but it wouldn't have been possible through, our regular means with Ticketmaster or through the box office and processing all of those orders and separating payment. This was just a quick, easy transactional thing that people could support, come out to the game to recognize them, but also have funds go directly to them, and Spenzo cuts a check directly to the family. So this was an awesome one that was, when I say minutes, it truly took minutes to complete and set up and get going due to the the templates that we talked about earlier, where everything's in place. It's just more of us populating some images and routing the money where it needs to go. And it was a huge success. I want to say it ended a little bit over 1,200 tickets. And then the family, like you see, getting a little over $6,000. So great fundraiser that we did there. Star Wars Night's another one that we can definitely speak to. And I mentioned this one because one, it's obviously, as I'm sure a lot of teams, it's one of our most successful group sales initiatives, but also the I want to say complexity behind it, but it's not as complex to the customer. So when I say that, because every year, as most teams do, there's always an item usually included with Star Wars Night. We've had success with shirts, so we decided not to change what works. So there's the game ticket, the t-shirt, and then we also do a donation to Make-A-Wish North Carolina, all wrapped into this package. So in every customer's transaction, that money is getting routed in 3 different directions. Actually, probably more than that if you consider tax and some other things. So that being said, it's not that complex to the customer. It's all packaged into one. And the nice thing, especially our operations team would attest to this, is all that money is on Arctics on the back end already directly routed where it needs to go, to where the ticket money stays with the ticket. The t-shirt cost gets offset, and that money gets paid for with the shirt voucher that's attached to the ticket purchase. And then the donation amount is held separately. I want to say it was a few dollars of every ticket here. That amount, as you can see, $2,500 is routed separately towards the end. So the Make-A-Wish Foundation in North Carolina gets their check after Star Wars Night passes. And like I mentioned, that's one of our more successful group sales night. I want to say consistently it does over 1,000 tickets every year for us. When we do it, it's definitely popular. And as you can see, we get specific branding for marketing on it that can easily be put into Spenzo. The header image was made specifically for Spenzo and swapped out the images on the right with the date. And as we sell out tickets, it's also worth mentioning that it's very easy to add a new price category. As we started to sell out the first 2, we ended up having to add, 2 more additional seating categories before they all ended up selling out. So that one's a good one to mention, just because of the complexity of different sizes that people check for their t-shirts upon checkout, and then the different seating areas and everything that goes into the purchase process.
Ryan, how long did you say it takes you to set one of these up for a group?
We've been on Spenzo for about 4 years now, so my crew is pretty well versed in it at this point. So we have the big thing is templates. So once we all get a standard, every year we'll do some tweaks here and there, but we use pretty consistent header images, background images, and so forth. So a lot of it is pre-populated, but these can be set up literally in minutes, and I'm not exaggerating when I say minutes. It's just mainly getting a brief description on the right, picking which seating categories you want, and getting the vanity link that Denise mentioned. The nice thing there is we don't need to necessarily go to Emmanuel and Denise every time we need a vanity link. Reps can literally do it themselves, put in whatever they want it to be, and send it out to their clients within minutes. So anything that's over 10 minutes is going to be one of the more complex ones. So it's definitely pretty quick.
What kind of drove you guys to partner with Spenzo for your group tickets?
Sure. Yeah, we did our research, and there's obviously a few different platforms in that space that can kind of do this, but after testing and doing some demos with all of them, we decided to go with Spenzo, to be honest, and Denise and Emmanuel probably know this, sort of as a trial run in year 1, just to see how we liked it. It was our first time going into a third-party ticketing company for group sales. So we wanted to try it out for a year and then kind of go from there. But we were kind of blown away in the first year how much easier this made our group sales experience and our promo links. And we had our hesitations at first, as you would with any company, not knowing if the tickets would sell, if, any type of service fee would shy people away. And, all that was quickly put to rest to where we were seeing an uptick in all of our traditional, promo links for groups. All those numbers were already trending up. The buy flow process was going much smoother. We're getting good feedback from our group leaders, things of that nature. And then the service thing, I think, in year one, there was things that we wanted, or, hey, could we do this? How do I get the reporting on that? Whatever the case may be, we were impressed with any of those questions that we passed along to Denise or Emmanuel. Either the answer was, yes, this is how you do it, or no, it doesn't work like that right now, but give us 2 days and I'll have a fix for you. And usually in one day I had the fix for it, or later that day. So I think it's just the customer service and, being invested in making things easier for us and for our customers, I think is what had us stick. And then we haven't really looked back since. I mean, we've continued to grow our business. I looked last year alone, I think we did somewhere in the realm of 65,000 tickets were processed through Spenzo just in one season. So, and I could count on one hand the number of customers that bought through Spenzo that I've had to follow up with or speak with, or whatever the case may be, just because it's a very simple process, honestly, for the customer.
So, I mean, it was able to help increase some sales and also be more efficient, is what it sounds like.
100%. And the reps on the staffing side of it, I know as a rep for me, whether it's making flyers or links or trying to build out everything, it's super easy to do. And I'm a big proponent of making it simple for the customer too. They don't want to have 80 different options of what do I need to do to get this? Where's my seating location? Everything is super self-explanatory. And I think that drives volume naturally, just because it's easy for people to get through the process. And mind you, all these tickets are mobile too. So it's not like there's people picking up tickets at will call or anything of that nature. It's for a lot of them are first time in our system, first time buyers too. They've never purchased a ticket before, so they're getting a new account. All that is automated. They get an email on how to access their mobile tickets. I think just the ease of everything for the customer has been huge as well.
Gotcha. Sorry to sidetrack you there, Denise.
You're good. No, we're all good. No, and it's a great segue, what Ryan's talking about with regards to the buy process. I think that's something that we really pay attention to at Spenzo. And so, one of the key things is we always have the seating map front and center. You can expand and contract the seating map so your buyers can see. We take for granted that we're in our venues every day and we know where section 112 is like the back of our hand, right? That's no problem. We know what the view looks like, all of those things. So we like to make sure that that's front and center, because your buyers typically that are buying through our platform are not coming to every single game. They're probably coming to 1-2 games a year and they don't remember exactly where the seats are. So that's key. And you'll see the color coding matches as well. As you go through the buy process, Ryan pointed out that your buyers are picking their exact seat location. So that's extremely important in our industry. When you're spending discretionary income on a purchase to come to a game, you want to know where your seats are. You want to know, if it's section 108, am I in row A or am I in row Z? Those are two totally different experiences based on the sport and based on where you're going. So as you go through our process, you'll see your buyers select the number of seats they want. And then the sections that are available in that area with that block of seats are going to showcase. So the key thing here is that you can serve up any inventory from, if you're doing Ticketmaster Arctics, you can serve up any combination of hold classes, price codes, anything that you'd like. You'll also see we've now had it, and this is a recent feature for us, a view from seat location. So all of our customers that have either images from a section or they have an IO media map that we can pull images from, we can go ahead and add those and share those specifically here through our platform so they can get a glimpse of exactly what their seat looks like. As they go through the buy process, you'll see they're picking a seat block. So we've done this by design for a couple different reasons. One, it is so much easier on mobile, and we find over 50% of our buyers across our platform buy on mobile. So you're not having that issue. I mean, like even the skinniest of fingers have a fat finger day where you're trying to pick the little dots and you get so frustrated, right? You're like, oh, I didn't like that one, right? So this makes it so much easier. We will never leave a single seat. And then our design also sets up to be able to keep your inventory as big as possible for as long as possible. What I mean by that is we're pushing a buyer to one end of the seat block or the other. They can't come in, let's say, in a section that has a block of 8 seats and pick the middle 4 seats, bifurcating that block and leaving two sets of 2 on each end. A set of 2 is a lot harder to sell sometimes than a set of 4, right? Because now you've made it more difficult. You've said, hey, you know what, you have to come in a pair, not a group of 4. So it really helps sell through your inventory. And I think buyers knowing exactly where they're sitting, I can't stress enough how important that is. So once they've chosen their seats, you do have options for additional add-ons. So many of our teams will sell parking, will sell concessions, will sell retail. You can put limits on these. You can push them into Arctics. You can have them not be pushed into Arctics. You really have flexibility here. And then you have that additional custom donation that we talked about, which also, again, very helpful for those nonprofits that are trying to raise funds. And then last, we have our question feature. And I think this is an area, again, where we're extremely robust, and Ryan can speak to this in a minute. We have questions that are required or optional. We have questions that are multiple choice, open-ended. We can ask I agree statements. We've uploaded waivers. We've uploaded terms and conditions for teams that have specific terms and conditions. And then this is the really the key here is that we actually have the ability to ask questions on a per ticket level. So you're adding a t-shirt to that buy process, and you want to know their size. You may not be able to guarantee it, but you want to know, are you on pace for what you need for smalls, mediums, and larges? Instead of having them fill in to an area where someone's writing SM for small, someone's writing SML, someone's writing SMALL, it's so confusing, and it's all, comma separated, and you can't figure out the information. No, we'll collect all that data on a per ticket basis. So this is like a clinic example. If you have 2 clinic participants, we're allowing you to answer those questions for each one of those clinic participants. So you could technically do any sort of clinic, any sort of registration program. We've set up to do 5K registrations and ask questions about when you think you're going to finish the race. There's just so much that you can do. I said uploading waivers. We've got that ability too. So you really these questions can really help drive and gather information. We also have the ability, based on our hierarchy, to have questions that are just pre-populated on every single promotion. And one thing that comes to mind is when we, working with Ryan and his team, we actually help them do a special preseason game. But I think the key is that, they offer that preseason game complimentary, but the reason they do that is because they ask questions and they gain a ton of insight into all those people coming. I don't know, Ryan, if you want to speak briefly to kind of what you guys have gathered from those questions.
Yeah, definitely two parts to the question, comments that you just made. One, the drop-down selection of shirt sizes and automation of picking things versus typing small, SM, whatever, has saved me countless hours of sorting through data. So I appreciated that when it happened. But yeah, secondly, on all of our offers, I think it might even be listed here, but we ask every single buyer that comes through Spenzo, whether it's how many games do you come out to a year, or are you interested in learning more about, we don't even say season tickets. We say, are you interested in learning more on how to save money on Hurricanes tickets? And anybody that selects yes is instantly passed on to our analytics team and served up to our inside sales staff or business development staff as a season ticket lead moving forward. So just because they're a part of a group, and yes, it's great that they participated and bought a quote unquote group ticket, so many of those people have converted into plans, whether it's, even if it's just flex plans, half season or quarter season plans. They're great leads that we're getting. That, it's one thing to buy a list of, B2B leads or B2C leads that you think could be interested in cold call them. It's another thing to, these are people that we know came out to a Hurricanes game. They purchased, they probably, paid a little bit more than if they bought a full season ticket. They could be paying a little bit less. So it's such a layup of a lead for these people, and it's a much, much warmer conversation starter, because with the data, you can obviously look in and see which specific game they came to, just like a regular single game buyer, and just say, how was your experience? I see you bought through the Girl Scout offer. Your daughter's obviously in Girl Scouts. Tell me more about it. And it leads to a season ticket conversation as well. So there's a lot of cross sale opportunity across a lot of these Spenzo buyers based on the questions that Spenzo is able to put in upon checkout. And you make them mandatory too. So some teams probably don't do that. We do, because I don't think anybody's not going to buy because they have to check, yes or no to a question. But we've got some really good data from it.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan. So, once your buyer has finished their questions, they're going to enter their information, so their name, their email, and all of their credit card information. So what we're doing, if you're on Ticketmaster Arctics, we're actually cross-referencing that email to your database. And I think Ryan mentioned this before. We're either going to populate their seats into their account if they have an account with you, or we're going to create that account. We always push in the account rep on the order level. And then if we're creating the account, we also push in name, email, billing address, phone number. We can also push in to a sales source. So if you use Salesforce, that's a unique area in our ticks. And then we've also been beta testing, sending in other information fields with one of our NHL clients because they want to gather some more data and put more data into our ticks so that can push out to their CRM system. So there's a lot that we do in that process. The buyer instantly is going to see a confirmation screen. They're also going to get an email that's going to look like, in this case, it's coming from the Carolina Hurricanes. The email takes on the branding of the promotion. So this is an example actually from the Dallas Mavericks. And you'll see that the branding at the top is actually that specific promotion. So it speaks directly to the buyer. There's no question who they bought through. There's no question what promotion they bought through, but it's very simple and easy. And I think a lot of our clients will test that these emails, because you have the ability to add information at your, what we call seller level. So like at the Hurricanes level, and then also at a per promotion level, they see limited to no people coming to the box office concerned or not knowing where to get their tickets. It's allowed them, and I know speaking directly for Star Wars Night, it's allowed the Hurricanes to be able to put information about where to pick up your t-shirt. So then on game night, it's so simple for those buyers to go find where their t-shirt is because they know exactly what portal to go to and what table to go to, and it just saves time. Ryan, am I speaking correctly?
Yeah. And to even honestly, to even take it a step further too, I should have mentioned it earlier, but that Star Wars promotion, there's the ticket that's mobile as well, but we do vouchers for the shirt as well. So the people that, a big fear of mine personally, just knowing a lot of buyers in general new to mobile ticketing that can't handle it, these people not only came in with a mobile ticket, but then they were also able to pull up a mobile barcode for their t-shirt, differentiate the two, and it tells you exactly where to go. So we as staff can be right at the table scanning people's shirt voucher, giving them their shirt, and it's a super easy experience, and it just makes it so much smoother for the customer, even if it's their first time doing it.
Yeah, for sure. So again, very seamless process, very easy from start to finish. We've talked a little bit about the hierarchy of Spenzo, and I think one of the other key things for us that's kind of been a home run is what we call our affiliate system, and it's what a majority of our customers use for their corporate partner offers. So typically, most teams will go out to their corporate partners, or they'll have some sort of company-based program within their marketplace where they say, hey, you know what, this is our pass program. We're going to get every large company in the city to be able to get discounted offers. And so creating those links can be very arduous if you have to create 150 times, right? So in Spenzo, we've got the ability where you create the group once. It's called corporate partner offers, for example. We're playing on here right now with the Indianapolis Colts. So they create corporate partner offers. They then choose the games and the pricing that they want for all of these partners for the year. So all of that is standardized. And then they go in and create what's called an affiliate for every single one of their partners that they want to have access to these offers. So it's very, very simple. Creating an affiliate, comparatively speaking to what Ryan was saying the build process is like a 30-second process. You literally take a logo, crop it, and you're almost ready to go. Assign it to a rep and you're live. So you'll see here for the Indianapolis Colts, we've got a number of different examples. You'll see Dunkin', you'll see Amazon, FedEx. These are all their different corporate partners. The key is, again, it's all built off the same set of promotions. So if they need to sell a game out, if they need to add a different game, they need to change a seating area, they do it once, and it's actually replicated across every single one of those promotions because they're all looking at the same promotion. So when you talk ease of use and like simplicity, this is it to its core, and no one else has this right now. So we do this, I would say, with almost all of our clients. I would say maybe this isn't one of the things that Ryan and his team are like, they use our platform in a lot of other ways. They're working on this one. But most of our clients this is like one of the key reasons why they come on board with us, because this is so, so simple. And the great news is that all of these different partners can be assigned to different reps. They have their own branding. And as we get into some of our reporting, you actually can report on the conversion rate of every single one of these. So I can know if AT&T actually sent their link out or not. I can know if Allegiant Air actually sent their link out. I can know that Allegiant Air has they're really excited about our product. So maybe I need to talk to them about investing more with us. So this type of structure is super important. And as we talk about how we're going to, be better with, do more with less as we come out of some of this pandemic, because our staffs may not be where they were before, these types of things are super, super important. Emmanuel's actually right now creating a new one. Say, for example, you brought Facebook on board. We have a cropping tool in our back end here. So he's cropped the logo. And then we also have a color picker. So I know from my experience, the sponsorship department is like, oh, you didn't use the exact red. You didn't use the exact blue. Well, no, you don't have to go through and select, right? You can literally click color picker and go ahead and click the exact Facebook blue, assign it to a rep, and go ahead and save it. And now Emmanuel can go ahead and grab a custom link specifically for this. So in this case, it'd be coltsgroups.com. And once he's done that, he will have a live link for Facebook. So literally in a matter of a minute and a half, he's created a new promotion set for Facebook.
That's awesome. How long has that feature been part of Spenzo? Is that something new, or has that always been there?
This is not new. This has actually been there from the beginning of what we've done, and the way that our, to Emmanuel and our kind of tech builders credit, it was the way that the platform was built from a hierarchy perspective. This too, so this is one use case for this. Other use cases for this is actually like, let's say, for example, in Ryan's Star Wars night, one of the things that we can do, I mean, you clicked off of that, or, oh, you're on our reporting side. One of the things that you can do is you can actually go in and create these specifically for marketing uses. So we have a lot of clients that'll say, okay, we're going to post this on our website. We're going to send, we're going to do paid Instagram and social. We're going to go ahead and send an email out. We're going to do a number of different ways of getting this link out. So you can go ahead and you can do that, and you can create an affiliate for each one of those. And now you can track that full conversion rate. So for someone that sat on both the sales and marketing side, this is a dream for me to be able to sit back and say, okay, instantly I can know exactly how many tickets have sold. So maybe my Facebook and Instagram isn't paying off, like the paid value. I'm not getting the value. So drop that and let me move to where I am seeing the value. And maybe that's a different area or a different space. So it really kind of allows you to drive home and understand exactly how your links are working. One of the use cases that the Hurricanes have used this for is they did a Tickets for Turkeys promotion where they allowed every single one of their staff members to have their own link to sell tickets at a discounted rate. And for every certain number of tickets, they donated a turkey in the marketplace. So this was a great example of where we were able to track all of those links. I mean, how many employees do you guys have, Ryan, typically? You had what, 200?
It's like 250, yeah.
Okay, so 250 links. Things you'd think that would take forever to create. No, it was a very simple process. They created the promotions. We created the affiliates for them, quickly got them back to them. And next thing you know, they're live. So very, very easy.
That's great.
One of the other ways that you can go about a similar program, and this is, again, one of the things that we solely had. This was a recommendation or a desire from a gentleman by the name of Carl Manto. He wanted us to be able to assign a rep based on a promo code. So if you're working with Ticketmaster Artix, and let's say you want your promotions to look and feel like your brand, that's the way your company is, you really want to stay true to your brand, but you want different companies to be able to come in and enter their promo code because you want to know what the sales are from each company. You can go ahead and assign promo codes to varying reps. So you could have the same rep have multiple companies. Let's say I have 10 companies, Ryan has 10 companies, Emmanuel has 10 companies. No problem. Every time that promo code is entered, we will go ahead and record that, obviously, and then we will apply that sales rep in the process through Artix, so that if I entered, Deloitte now is going to go ahead and be tied to Jim Van Dam. So in Artix, Jim Van Dam is going to get credit for that. So again, another unique feature, talks about how we go very, very deep with Ticketmaster Artix, but our whole goal is efficiency and streamlining the process for our clients. So maybe we should jump into a little bit more of some of the reporting, Emmanuel. Maybe we can start with map view.
Sure.
So I mentioned this at the top, that reporting was, again, another way that we were very unique in the way that we go about it. So we provide our teams with a number of reports that really allow them to go deep into the data and see it without having to go to their analytics team, for example. So any paid buyer that comes through our platform is instantly geocoded and placed on a heat map. Our teams then have the ability to sort these buyers by group, rep, affiliate, a certain spend amount. They can sort it by game date. So maybe they want to look at, how do Saturday games perform versus Monday games? How large is our circle of what we draw from? This data, from someone that sat on the sales and marketing side, it's a dream come true, because we really can understand if we're doing a larger promotion. We can understand the penetration of where we're going. We can understand, based on where our marketing was put out, actually, are we drawing people from that area? If we're working with scouts, back to our demo example, and we work with multiple councils and we know those councils are in different parts of town, like which council is actually performing better? The key thing with this now is that this data is also actionable. So you look at all these dots and you're like, okay, well, I don't know who those buyers are. Well, no problem. We can show you exactly who those buyers are. So you can go ahead and scroll in here to any area or view that you want. And then you can go ahead and draw a polygon, any sort of shape polygon that you want on our map, as Emmanuel's drawing his. Once he does that and closes the loop, he can click Generate Report. And then this is going to kick you back to our Flex Report. So our Flex Report is, I like to call it pivot tables on steroids. So our buyers or our clients have access to this report in full scope. We're not going to show full scope of this because, again, it gets into pretty proprietary data of our clients. But this is going to show you all of the buyers, when they purchased, all of their information from a standpoint of email, phone, where they're sitting, what game they're there for, what group, what affiliate, all of that information. And even when you've drawn a polygon on our map view, this allows you to further scale down that information and truly understand who those buyers are. So maybe you want to, in the case that Ryan was talking about, we're going to transition some of these buyers to Flex Games or to season ticket holders. You may know there's a threshold, say of $250 or $300, that is where your Flex plans start. So you maybe want to go in here and you want to search just people that spend over $250 in one transaction. Like, talk about warm leads, layups. Hey, do you know that in one transaction you paid what people pay for 5 or 6 games with us? Like, let's have a conversation about this. Would you like to come back to more games? You can really have those conversations and make strategic, smart decisions about how you're reaching out to these people. So this is our map view. We showcase the group list summary report, which is very impactful. And we talked a little bit about the Flex report. Another report or another set of data points that we've provided to our clients, and this is relatively new, is what's called our Spenzo Smart Charts. So our Spenzo Smart Charts, again, gives you that insight to be able to understand when your buyers are purchasing and how much they're purchasing from you. So what are those sweet spots? So many times teams will come to us and they're like, oh, well, we have a game that needs help. We're a week away. Do we really have a chance to make an impact? Well, depending on the team and depending on your city's buying habits, you may have an opportunity to make a huge impact. I mean, Ryan talked about a game that within 3 days, they sold 1,200 tickets. So this really gives you that insight to understand what's going on. So this will go ahead and over different aggregations, whether it's a day, a week, or 30 days, you can really see what your buyers' tendencies are. As much as our clients would say, oh, our buyers buy early. Not all of them, right? Most of them are within the week of the game, let's be honest.
When's the deadline?
Exactly. It's like the day before the deadline. And a lot of teams have a ton of purchasers on day of game. So that's another key thing for us is being able to leave promotions open up until game time. Especially for our clients that are integrated with Ticketmaster Artix, they can leave it till game time. It's because if I'm buying my ticket, instantly get that email, I can click and log in and get my mobile ticket and be in the door within less than 5 minutes, right? So it's a very easy process, and people are making decisions very late. So knowing this timing is really helpful for our teams. Additionally, we also have a spend insight right now on this as well, so they can understand basket size. So, hey, where's the sweet spot? What are people really spending with us? And you can aggregate that over $1, $5, $10, and $25. So you really get a good understanding of what that looks like for your buyers and where your sweet spot is. Ryan, any comments about how you guys use the reporting that I didn't mention maybe?
Yeah, the only 2 things on reporting worth mentioning, you call it, pivot table on steroids. I call the Flex report as just my best friend because anything I need, typically issues or questions that come up that I need the answer to, the Flex report is going to have any answer that I need, whether it's what rep sold, what group's in the month of October, whatever it is, whatever scenario that I need those numbers for, the data behind, it's literally 2 to 3 clicks max. You can pull it down and it pops right into Excel. So I use the Flex report for pretty much everything. The other thing worth mentioning that I think you touched on briefly is just the drill down charts. I think it was eye-opening for a lot of our group leaders. The first year that we started using drill down charts to say, okay, these 8 programs are all getting a lot of views and unique opens and purchases. But this traditional group that says that they sent out this link to all their people, I'm looking at it and there's only 8 views, and 3 of them came from me. The other 2 came from the rep. So clearly that person didn't send out the link that they said they did. So I think it was kind of an aha moment when, you know, the rep would call and say, hey, just so you know, something's wrong potentially with your email because it looks like it didn't get any views. And I think people are like, oh, okay, you know, they are actually looking at this. I better send it out. And it just kind of allows them to focus on, you know, group leaders that maybe aren't getting the success and the other ones that are performing well. Not that you leave them alone, but their time can be better spent with other customers that, you know, don't have as many views yet, that they need a little extra boost, if that makes sense.
Ryan,
Yeah.
how do you make sure that, you know, this is successful? I know, okay, you just give somebody a link and, you know, like, what's your process? How have you guys been able to make sure that you get that 1,200, you know, tickets sold or 500?
Sure. We, I would say what we changed into is we kind of started to qualify people a little bit more for who's getting a link. We didn't just make it as easy as, hey, I'll send you over a link. I'll put 4 price categories on it and you send it out, because we weren't getting success from that. And it's kind of a waste of their time. Is we would qualify people and kind of boost it up a little bit, that to get one of these links, it's super easy for your group to all buy separately. Kind of pitched it as a perk to them. Like, this is kind of a thing that you have to earn, to where we don't just give it out to anybody. We usually use 50 tickets or more as like a threshold to for it to make sense for us to send out a link. Anything below that, you just call us and make the purchase all in one shot. So we use 50 as like a minimum, knowing that if somebody only buys 40 tickets, it's not like their link's not going to work. Right. But we started to qualify people a little bit more, and that started to make a difference. That if I'm going to take the time, all the time, as you see, it took 2 minutes, but all the time to build you a link, you know, we expect it to go out to a lot of people and, you know, make it worthwhile. And that started to improve our numbers a little bit more.
Good.
Absolutely. Good point.
One thing else that we want to share is the Spenzo side panel. A lot of people don't know, but Spenzo has the ability to power whole transactions while on your team's website or venue's website. So with one line of code, you can add a button here, for example, a buy tickets button, and that will open a side panel where the buyer can go ahead and transact directly without even leaving your website. There's a couple unique things to the Spenzo side panel that no other system does. Number one is that the base page is still scrollable. You'll see here I'm scrolling the base website. So the whole purpose of having a button on your website is that maybe you have some special information or theming or branding that you want to provide to your audience, so they could still see that. The other thing is that the buyer can minimize the side panel at any time. So while in the middle of the buy flow, they can minimize that, go back to the website here, continue to read, and then pull it back open and continue to select their seats there. They can also maximize it as well, so if they like more of a full view. So you've got 3 different sizes here for the side panel. You could deposit the buyer anywhere in the buy flow. So if you're only selling specific seats like the blue zone, you could do that. They simply select how many seats they want, they select the ones they want, and they go ahead and purchase. So very easy and quick without ever leaving your website. The clinic package that we had discussed, you can power those clinic promotions right from your website as well. So if you are selling a clinic, the buyer can go and select their seats, all 5 seats together in this example. Here we go. Information. So it's kind of like a registration form on your website with the ticket purchase built in, including the drop downs for the t-shirt. You can do that. Also, buying multiple games, you could do that as well. You could have matchup images for each. So you could put the buyer there. They go ahead and choose from that point. And then finally, you can actually use our side panel for something like a game day guide, where you might have the base underlying page be the Spenzo powered buy flow, but you may want to have a button on there, which is a game day guide. So as people are purchasing, they could learn a little bit more about how parking works, how building security works, social distancing, you know, arrival time. These kind of things might be important in this current like pandemic world.
Absolutely. One of the last things that we want to share a little bit about is our flex code system. So we power a ton, I would say, for almost every single one of our clients. We do some sort of free program, discounted ticket program, whether it's a ticket that's already been purchased in registration. And so we have a very robust system. Our platform can generate codes for you, unique codes for you. You can upload your own codes. So we have many teams that will work with organizations that already have unique codes. And you can also gate any of these offers based on email domain, even by the email suffix, so like .gov or .edu. So we do a ton of different things like that. Our platform allows for a couple different things. Number one, as you go through the process, you can redeem multiple codes at the same time if you allow that, but also we allow for upgrades. So you can see here that your code in the fan zone is free, for a free ticket, but if you want to sit in the lower level, it's actually $40 to be able to use your code. So we've got a lot of functionality that allows teams to do really unique things with being able to push buyers to certain areas and dress the house. So as you can going through here, Emmanuel has to enter a unique code to be able to get those complimentary Deloitte employee tickets, as we're showcasing here right now. He can't buy them without that. So if he pulls a code, which our codes can be actually now worth varying amounts. So Andrew, you may have a code because you're a manager that's worth 4 tickets, whereas I have a code that's only worth 2 tickets because I'm not a manager, right? So we can all still go the same promotion. You can redeem for your 4 tickets. I can redeem for my 2. We can add on any additional tickets that we want, and we're choosing all of our seats all together, which is key, right? And then from an ops perspective, we're actually pushing those tickets in at appropriate pricing. They can be different ticket types, and it's really a very seamless process for ops. Even that $0 ticket can actually be sent in at a custom price because maybe you've already collected that money from Deloitte, and your box office doesn't want to have to go back through and reprice the tickets. We can send that in, say, at that $40 rate or at that $25 rate, and they can go ahead and we can say, hey, let's pay it off by a different method of payment too, so that's paid off by the Deloitte method of payment. So internally, your ops team knows that all that money coming in or all those tickets paid off by the Deloitte method of payment is actually already on a credit card is ready to be run to pay for those. So there's lots of different flexibilities here with our code system. We power BOGOs, or we can power a buy 1, get 2, buy 1, get 3, buy 3, get 1. We have all of that different capability to be able to do any and all of that. There's so much that we could go into beyond this with regards to our platform. There's lots of different nuances, and I think to what Ryan said, at one point is that our platform truly is at this point mostly driven by our clients and their needs and what they want and what they're trying to accomplish. So if there is a specific issue, we are constantly trying to find ways to be able to solve those issues if it's in our power and our ability to do so, to be able to make things more efficient and effective for them. So this example right here, again, fundraising example, $5,300 for this little gentleman and his rare disease. These are the kinds of things that we're making an impact on. But our platform is, I'm proud to say, after even 4.5 years in now, it's night and day from where it is. I'm sure Ryan could speak to even the time that they've been with us. The platform has gone through leaps and bounds.
Question that we had from Adam with the Washington Nationals. Do you integrate with tickets.com? If not, how could someone like the Nationals or someone with tickets.com use the platform?
Yeah, great question. So right now, no, we are not integrated with tickets.com, unfortunately. So we do have a number of teams that are not integrated with, say, Ticketmaster Artix that are on different platforms. And the only thing that they lose is that seat selection and the automated account process. So everything else that we've talked about, the reporting, the different ability to gate, the flex report, the group list summary, being able to create offers with affiliates that make it much more seamless. Everything like that happens. It's just they don't pick their exact seats, and then we don't create the account process and deliver the tickets to them. So there is that little bit of a lag, but we do work with teams, and we try to work with those teams too, to not only work with their ops teams, but also even maybe their, like say, for example, tickets.com. Is there a way that we can provide the data beyond our flex report that is easily uploadable to make that process as seamless as possible? So great question.
Good.
Other questions for us or things that we didn't hit on? Ryan, any last thoughts?
No, I think you did a great job summarizing everything. And the cool thing is, for lack of a better term, I think there's probably 100 things that we still didn't even hit on that the platform can do, which is a good thing, because while it seems like a ton of different features that we covered today, you know, you get down the road, and I can speak to our experience here over the past 4 years, those types of things come up and scenarios come up, or certain clients or sponsors want to do different ticketing offers. So all of these different variables, although it seems like a ton of different things, I can attest and say that we use pretty much all of them at this point for a number of different ways, and enable my staff to be able to, you know, mix and match different offers and promotions to maximize. And I'm a big numbers guy, and numbers speak for themselves for us. And ever since we've integrated with Spenzo, our group ticketing revenues continued to increase year over year, and the platform itself continues to improve too. So I have nothing but great things to say about everything that Denise and Emmanuel have done from their side.
Well, and the point of the demo here is just to kind of give you a little taste. And I'll be honest, I'm really impressed. And while I'm not with a team right now, when I do, for sure, definitely be looking to add this to the arsenal.
Absolutely. Yes. And like I said, by the time, you know, depending on when you get to a team, who knows what, who knows where we'll be at, Andrew.
Take over the world.
I'm just with this stuff, but I'm not too tech savvy. So, I mean, I think you guys are doing a great job. And I mean, I think the key is to continue to evolve. And it sounds like from what Ryan says and just getting to know you a little bit, Denise, is that you guys take that feedback that you're getting from the teams or the organizations. And, you know, over time, that's how you come up with your next updates. And, you know, you got to constantly evolve. So I think it's great. I think if anyone is interested, connect with myself, Denise, Emmanuel, connect with Ryan, ask him some questions. I mean, you know, I think that's what this is all about. Let's try to help everybody we can in the industry now. And especially on the ticketing side, you know, everyone's gotten hurt over the last 8 months. So hopefully we can get back, and this will be another great way to help clients without, you know, having to be face to face, and, you know, a little safer with the digital ticketing.
You know, Andrew, we have a hypothesis that we've learned a lot from some of our clients that are starting to sell tickets now in the NFL. And, you know, the dirty secret in the industry is that it's tough. It's actually been very hard for some of these teams to sell 20-25% of their venue because the experience is different.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the same to go to a venue that's a quarter full. So teams are going to need creative ways out. And we believe at Spenzo that group sales is the way out. Special promotions or theme nights is the way out. And group sales is going to probably have the biggest growth that it's ever seen in the industry. As season tickets are going to erode, you're going to need new concepts. And we're starting to see this. A lot of NFL teams are reaching out to us who've never done group sales in their life and say that this is going to be the linchpin of it. It's unbelievable. So yeah, we're very happy to build out the feature set required for the industry and help where we can.
And we didn't even mention social distancing. We've got 4 different ways to social distance too. So you know, we couldn't just go with the one pod model. We came up with 3 others. So that's just the way that we do it.
Denise, do you want to just mention too the other the playbook a little bit about what you guys have there and how you're working with the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually prior to the pandemic, we were coming out with a brand called Ticket Playbook by Spenzo. And the goal was actually going to be to provide free training and information to the industry. And as the pandemic hit, it's transitioned now into this community of individuals from our industry that get together on a almost weekly basis, and we discuss different topics. And so we now have an industry forum up there. Amanda's going to share and show. You know, we have a member directory. We have all the links to all of our discussion sessions. We have a private LinkedIn group now that you can share and ask questions back and forth. And, you know, coming up in the next couple of weeks, our discussion sessions are going to really transition into more specific playbooks, for lack of a better term, where we're going to work with professionals on the other side, so outside of our industry, that have opportunities for us in the industry to build theme nights or build big events with them. And we're literally going to give you a playbook of, okay, here's how you're going to go ahead and do this night. Here's how you're going to go ahead and do that night. And really leave that as something that we can help the industry with. And then there may be some special features that come out through the Spenzo platform that if you work with those partners, there'll be special things in our Spenzo Spenzo platform for it. But I think, we've done a lot of discussing, and we've had great feedback on those. We've had anywhere from 75 to 125 people on those on a weekly basis. But I think now we need to, as seasons are coming to a close and we're getting ready, other than NFL, who's live right now, we're going to get ready to launch the new season. We need actionable steps and actionable ideas that people can take forward.
I joined a few of them, and I can tell you it was just great discussion, and just like it's what I love about this industry is just how everyone, is open to sharing and helping each other, and your calls and webinars there are I just think they're great. So keep that up. I think it's great to see you have executives on there, and you have entry-level people. You have people still in college that are just trying to get more knowledge. So it's awesome. I love it. So keep it up. Is there anything else that you guys want to hit before we finish up?
Just one thing, tomorrow we actually have an address that Emmanuel and I are going to do based on some of what we were speaking to at the end of this, is that, we know we're in a challenging space, and it's a pivotal moment for us in the ticketing world. So we're going to talk about some ideas. We've dropped a few hints here and there throughout this call of some of the recommendations we're going to have based on what we're seeing across all 3 countries that we do business in. So feel free to go to ticketplaybook.com and join us tomorrow at 1 Eastern. So, and thank you, Andrew, for this platform. Thank you for inviting us. And I can't say enough thank yous to Ryan for giving his time to share his experience, because we do truly appreciate him.
Yeah, thanks guys. And we'll make sure we put everyone's contact or LinkedIn profiles in the comments to connect with everyone. So see you guys next week.
All right. Thanks,
Bye,
Andrew.
thank you.
See you.